certainly welcome everyone on ground in the Culinary Conference Center here at the North Hudson campus and joining us via WebEx. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to please join me in a moment of silence for the brave Ukrainian people in this time of extreme challenge and crisis for Ukraine and the world community. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. We have an introduction to make today. We have a new colleague here, and Ilya, I'm going to ask you to introduce him. You want to come to a mic? Oh, okay, good.
The weather is ready to crank, and we are the summer season, hot season is around the corner. So we really need somebody who can help us with AC, HVAC, and his face you're going to see very often. So we have a new senior mechanic, Desel Hines. Desel, please. So he has experience over 15 years in HVAC, been mechanical engineer, HVAC engineer, and we really count on him to help us out on a daily basis. So you will see him a lot, and again, we're here to help you out.
Welcome to the Hccc family. Would you like to say anything? Not to, you know, we have this tradition where we invite new employees to sing their favorite song on the first day, but we won't do that. I need some new material. I know. Are there any other new colleagues today that we need to introduce? I don't think I see any hands. Okay, lots to talk about. Yesterday, we learned that Hudson County Community College has been selected as one of 24 colleges nationwide to be named a 2022 Most Promising Place to Work in Community Colleges. We were chosen, we were chosen by the National Institute for Staff and Organizational Development, or NISOD, in collaboration with Diverse Issues in Higher Education. So they collaborate on the naming of most promising places to work. This, by the way, is not related to the survey many of us completed. We have yet to hear, we'll hear I think in another month, about whether in that survey we were named as a great place to work, I think. But we are now a most promising place to work in community colleges. In a letter that I received yesterday, Dr. Edward Leach, who is NISOD Executive Director, informed us of this honor, quote, recognizing Hudson County Community College's best-in-class student and staff recruitment and retention practices, inclusive learning and working environments, and meaningful community service and engagement opportunities. We're the only community college in New Jersey to have been selected for this national award. And this is, like always, this is the outcome of everyone's involvement here. This award will be presented to us at NISOD's annual International Conference on Teaching and Leadership Excellence in late May, which will be held in Austin, Texas. Lalisa has always been she's our leader for all things NISOD. And Lalisa, we have a team going, right?
We do, yes.
We have a team of folks that are going to go there, and I think I may add myself to that team. So HCCC will also be honored by NISOD and Diverse at a reception later this month during the annual conference of the American Association of Community Colleges, or AACC in Manhattan, where we're also going to have a contingent. And in the conclusion of his letter, Dr. Leach wrote, quote, thank you for serving as a beacon of diversity, and again, we extend our heartiest congratulations to Hudson County Community College for receiving this award, a true moment of pride for all of us. And speaking about moments of pride, last week I had the pleasure of attending the annual Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society Conference in Denver with PTK Chapter Advisor Ted Lai and PTK Vice President for Public Relations Marlene Andalia. Marlene was recognized as an HCCC Middle States Regional Scholar and received the Chapter Officer Hall of Honor pin. Professor Lai was presented with the Phi Theta Kappa International Continued Excellence Award for Advisors. Dina Thompson, our PTK Chapter's Vice President of Leadership, was recognized with the Distinguished Chapter Member Award Medallion and a Chapter Member Hall of Honor pin. And our HCCC Beta Alpha Phi chapter was again awarded 5-star chapter status, which is the highest level of recognition for chapter engagement and outcomes. How about a round of applause for all of our Phi Theta Kappa students and colleagues? And one more piece, and a very, very notable one. Assistant Dean of Student Life and Leadership, Veronica Gerasimo, was honored with the Phi Theta Kappa International Distinguished College Administrator Award, one of just about 20, I think, that were presented. I want to tell you, there were thousands of people on ground at this conference, as there always are. And boy, if you've never gone to one of these, you need to go. Parades, like at midnight, students are parading. Lots of energy. And then this is the first conference I have seen that made all sessions available in dual formats. So in addition to the live on the ground, they had streaming video. So I think that's what we're going to see going forward everywhere. But unfortunately, Veronica was unable to attend the conference. Her picture was on the screen. She was announced to the whole group of thousands. And Marlene accepted the award for Veronica. So today, I'd like to present this well-deserved award to Veronica for all of us to celebrate. So Veronica, will you please come forward? And this is the award. You can see Veronica in Denver, right there.
Big stage.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Would you like to say it?
Yes, of course.
Please.
Oh, yes. Oh, I almost wore the same thing today, so luckily I didn't. It is a true honor. This award was nominated on behalf of students, which makes it even more meaningful. And it was one of about 20 or so people. Well, only one other New Jersey administrator was recognized, so it is a true honor. We wouldn't, we do it all for the students. So I thank you so much to Professor Lai, Marlene, Angel, all of the PTK members and executive board. A shout out to the student life and leadership staff, because it's not just, it's a team effort in everything that we do, but we do it for the students, to support them, to help our PTK chapter thrive and take on any opportunities. But this is a really special award for many reasons. It looks like, Tara mentioned, an Olympic medal, so I'm just gonna wear it around all the time now. And it's extremely valuable to be called distinguished. I'll take that with me everywhere. So thank you all so much for your support. And unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but this means more. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Veronica. You truly rock. Earlier this month, HCCC hosted over 130 colleagues from 2- and 4-year institutions throughout New Jersey and New York in a virtual conference of the New Jersey-New York Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers. Nationally, the organization is known as ACRO. The meeting provided an opportunity for professional development and networking among registrars and colleagues in the areas of admissions, enrollment management, student services, institutional research, and beyond. The association, the New York-New Jersey Association, has over 1,200 members. And we congratulate our own, I hope she's here, our own Associate Registrar, Irma Williams, who was elected president of the association for the coming year. Congratulations, Irma. Are you here? Are you out there?
Yes. I'm here at home. I'm currently recovering from surgery. Yes, but I'm doing much better. Thank you. It's all good. Yes, it's an honor because this was elected by my peers throughout New York, New Jersey, to elect me as president for this association. The reason why I love this association so much, it's very collegial, and we have a lot of mentorship programs where we mentor each other and learn from each other. So, and thank you, Dr. Reber, for your welcome address to the organization.
Sure. Thank you, Irma. We hope you're feeling much better soon. And congratulations again. It's a point of pride for all of us. I might just mention, ACRO, it's a really strong organization. I've gone in the past to 2 of their national conferences, which are incredibly packed with solid information, best practice data, and really inspiration. And now as we return to a new normal, and I assume ACRO conferences, like others, are going to resume on ground, I think this is one that we should add to our list and send an HCCC team, represented team, because there's just so much to take away from it. Okay, at last week's April meeting of the Board of Trustees, we welcomed Frank Gargiulo as the newest Hudson County Community College trustee. Trustee Gargiulo was recently appointed to the board to succeed former trustee Adamaris Galvin, whose term has expired. Trustee Gargiulo brings phenomenal education and public service leadership and experience to our board. His legendary service as superintendent of Hudson County Schools of Technology was recognized in 2019 with the naming of the Schools of Technology Sea Caucus campus in his honor. And of course, we have a very strong presence there under Chris Conzen's leadership and the work of his team. Trustee Gargiulo was the recipient of the Hudson County Community College Foundation's Distinguished Service Award in 2019. Members of the cabinet and I hosted Frank for an introductory lunch last week here in the Culinary Conference Center. We all look forward to working with him. Recently, our trustees and cabinet approved a new policy and procedure for the nomination and conferral of emeritus status to long-serving faculty and staff upon their retirement. And we're also extending this work to provide library privileges for all faculty and staff retirees. And I thank Professor Harvey Rubenstein for making this suggestion to me recently. Harvey, I don't know if you're here, I hope you are, and you can see that we're following through on your very good suggestion. We thank, are you here, Harvey? No. Hopefully his ears are burning. I want to thank Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Darrell Jones, for his leadership of these new opportunities to recognize and serve our retirees. Darrell, will you please discuss these opportunities, and also please discuss your leadership to begin a college-wide dialogue and consideration of renaming our academic divisions schools going forward. Darrell.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the nor'easter that we're going to have pretty soon. So maybe there's a snow day in the making. Chris is correct. This policy is a long time coming, and it was presented to the board in November and approved by the board, but I was remiss in sharing it broadly with the college community. I will ensure that the entire college receives a copy of the policy as it relates to the conferral on emeritus status. And I will read the policy as it is designed for your benefit today. So the purpose of the policy on emeritus and emeritus status is to recognize the contributions of long-serving and distinguished faculty and staff upon the retirement from Hudson County Community College through the conferral of emeritus status. In recognition of those contributions and distinguished service, the Board of Trustees will grant retiring tenured faculty and staff serving at the Associate Dean's level of above an honorary title corresponding to the title held immediately before retirement, which shall be known as emeritus and emerita. And I'll read the eligibility requirements, the process for consideration, and also what's included in this recognition. The eligibility requirements are demonstrated exemplary performance, no adverse personnel decisions currently on file, and no significant disciplinary history during the 5 years preceding retirement. At least 20 years of full-time service to Hudson County Community College, and under certain circumstances, the college may confer status to individuals that do not have the 20 years of service who would otherwise be eligible. Evidence of substantive contributions and distinguished service. So the procedures for consideration: retiring individuals should submit notice of retirement to the Vice President for Human Resources, Anna Krapinski, and other employees are free to nominate retiring employees also for this status, stating how they feel the eligibility requirements of this policy is request for consideration for the conferral status. Upon verifying eligibility from the Vice President of Human Resources, the President will recommend eligible employees to the Board of Trustees. The Board of Trustees will act upon the President's recommendation. Any employee retired or deceased prior to approval of this policy may be appointed to such status retroactively or posthumously. And the emeritus and emeritus status will include a printed resolution of the Board of Trustees action granting the designation, emeritus emerita recognition during the lifetime of the college in the college catalog for their status, the opportunity to receive invitations to formal college events and academic functions, a college email address, or you continue with your college email address, a college ID designated as emeritus or emerita status, access to library facilities and all of its electronic resources, and also access to be shared office space when reasonably possible. This is a great policy. It's a long time coming. I did not do it on my own. Anna Krupinski was engaged in it. Anna, thank you very much for your support of this. Dr. Heather DeVries was also very important in bringing this policy forward. And I also want to make one add also, any employee who retires from the institution, they also have access to the library in terms of all of its electronic resources and also the catalog. So if you know of any retiring person, please feel free to nominate them for this award, and I can entertain any questions at the end of the program if there are any. The other thing that I'd like to share with you is I'm sure many of us remember the presentation in January at our convocation. Davis Jenkins talked to us about some very important topics. And I want to pose a couple of questions to you, not that I expect a response here, but I want you to think about, are you content with what the college is doing to establish a true connection with all of our students? And is there more that we can do? I think we all agree that ultimately we want to create a greater bond with all of our students. And what is being considered, and I do want your input either today or sometime in the future, for consideration of renaming our academic divisions and referring to them as schools. One of many motivations for pursuing this opportunity is predicated again on our January 2022 convocation, where Davis Jenkins shared about creating programs and experiences that deliberately connect students to faculty, advisors, programs, initiatives, individuals, and experience. For those in the room, Davis referred to it as the phrase, light the fire activities, light the fire programs, initiatives, and experiences. In essence, creating early momentum for our students, getting students on the path and keeping them on the path. I believe we have an opportunity to create a greater experience of bonding for our students. And with this sense of bonding comes a greater commitment and attachment to us. Now, everyone knows that we refer to our academic divisions as divisions. Among some in higher education, divisions are viewed as siloed, warehoused, or even segregated. Divisions often sound businesslike and also work-related connotation. Divisions can be seen as bureaucratic by some, and frankly speaking, they can show separation and unnecessary boundaries and compartmentalization when it's not really needed. In higher education, when we also hear or speak of divisions, many people think it refers to athletics or sports. Again, we have an opportunity, in addition to emphasizing a prevailing culture of care, which we all should say every day in some form or facet to someone, a belief that Hudson is truly home. I'd like everyone to truly believe that Hudson is home. And the soon-to-be reimagined convocation, we're on a great momentum to purposely engage students and help them feel that they are connected and belong at Hudson County Community College. Using the term schools can easily be interpreted as where students belong. And when I floated this idea, one of the associate deans said, Daryl, it makes sense to be referred to as schools because schools are where students belong. Schools identify with having mutual professional interest. Schools show connectivity and belonging to something larger and greater than oneself. And students would feel inseparably connected and part of a whole. Schools have deans, not associate deans providing leadership, and it is our desire to adopt the title of deans in the near future. Schools show a sense of pride, and this is a perfect opportunity for upcoming 50th celebration to rebrand to emphasize this source of pride. Referencing schools can help students forge connections that are critical for motivating and inspiring them to complete their programs and open opportunities for employment and further education. As we consider this renaming opportunity, I welcome any and all comments later today or anytime in the future. Thank you, Chris.
Daryl, thank you. That was really well stated, I think. And, you know, this is a really important issue. This, along with emeritus status and library privileges for retirees. You know, one of our, I know, shared goals college-wide is we want our alumni, we want our alumni, but we want our retirees as well, just like our alumni, to continue to be engaged in this family, in this college community, and encourage them to remain active as it's their interest in the life of the college. And I have to also credit former Dean Paul Dillon, who had lunch with me, oh geez, might be 6 months ago or so, who really brought this to my attention as something we could do that would really improve the life of the college for everyone, even to the extent it's if possible, to provide some shared office or other space for retirees if they want to come and they want to be working on areas of interest, research, what have you. So let's take this opportunity to open this to any questions or comments about emeritus status, about retiree benefits, and certainly about the efficacy of coming forward with a renaming of our divisions as schools that might have their own identity, their own seals, what have you. Open it for conversation. This is where you wait for that first brave person. Okay, Joe, can you go to the microphone there?
Hi, everyone. I like the idea very much. I think, first of all, the emeritus status will make employees that worked at the college and have retired still feel connected to the college in one form or another. So I think that's a great idea. Also, renaming the division schools will make students feel more connected to the college as well. I never really liked the term division, academic division, like Division of English and ESL, Division of Developmental Math. Having it named school, a school, like the School of English, the School of STEM, and so forth, does make for students feeling more connected to the college community. And I think the deans and the faculty as well. We're all one member of one family and we're one unit. Instead of the term division could make students feel less connected to the school. So I agree 100%.
Thank you, Joe. Others?
I see Royal has her hand raised.
Royal? Our new author, our new book author. Congratulations. I got my book yesterday. Royal just wrote a book with, yeah.
Good afternoon, Dr. Reba and everyone. Dr. Jones, as Dr. Reba already stated,
what happens if
stated in terms of the presentation. I'm going to circle back or echo as to what Joe Coniglia stated in terms of the emeritus and emerita being more so connected to the college, right? And that's what actually kept me here at the college, being connected in terms of as a alum and now circle back as an employee. So I'm excited about that. Also in terms of what Dean Paul Dillon, he will always be Chef Dean to me in terms of Paul Dillon because he have given me an opportunity to work in the BCH department. And so as he referenced to have a shared office space in terms of the retirees and not negate the fact that they are retired, but they could come back in as you mentioned, Dr. Reber, in terms of sharing in, research or whatever that may look like for them. Also to echo Joe is the renaming identity in terms of, being one family, one unit, excluding the word division ultimately and utilizing the word school because it does give a sense of identity, right, for an individual that is an alum or that is a student overall here at Hudson County Community College. And so I just wanted to make sure that my voice was heard in this capacity that you enable us to share in this opportunity, in this great initiative Dr. Jones is doing, even in terms of, I think this is going to be what, Dr. Jones, for you, 2 or 3 years? Time is just flying by us, but you, in terms of your leadership, have been doing such a great job, such as our President, Dr. Reber, and all leadership here. Oh, I'm sorry, Veronica, that I'm not there in person. I'm going to have some flowers for you in terms of your, yes, in terms of your, the outstanding, which is not, that is a long time coming, but that it was for you in terms of your leadership that I also emulate behind the scenes. I emulate behind the scenes, one being that being a part of the doctoral program and with so many others that are here in this institution. So all I would say, my question or my suggestion, Dr. Darrell, in terms, I know you said at the end, if we have anything that we want to say, but I give it an A+ if we was giving it a grade to change the name, to rename and to brand. And even I think you reflect or reference the 50, something about 50, 50, I didn't really get to hear what you said, but something about 50 years or what have you. But yeah, so I'm excited. And go Hudson.
Thank you, Royal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Reber.
Other
Oh, thanks,
comments?
Dr. Reber, for ordering my book too.
You bet. Other comments or questions?
Doreen has her hand raised.
Doreen? You may be. Are you there? Did we lose you?
Nope, I'm here.
There you are.
It wasn't letting me unmute. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Dr. Reber, Dr. Jones, I think it's a great idea to take away the title of division and making it school, because when we prepare our students to go on to other institutions, they are referring to those as schools. So I also feel like you can bring schools together in joint partnerships. So the School of Communication to School of Human Services. So I do love that idea. I also wanted to kind of go with the premise of, I know you said retirees are coming back to kind of feel connected. I love that. I've just been approached recently, both Veronica and I are working with the student alumni to come back. They would like to come back and help our new students become more connected and kind of share with how they have survived. I'm saying survived this challenging last 2 years. So I love that idea from a mental health perspective. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Doreen. Others? So let me just say, I'm mindful, in full disclosure, when I was president of Community College of Beaver County, we also made this change, and I actually saw some really positive things come out of it, all positive. But I'm mindful of every culture is distinct, and I'm interested in everyone's thoughts about, how do we appropriately have this discussion college-wide and ensure that this reflects the wishes of the vast majority of our community. I believe at whatever point the community feels is appropriate, I could take this to the board and ask that I would ask the board to approve it. But how do we have the appropriate conversation and feedback? I know Dr. Jones is planning to discuss this at the All College Council as one constituency. I'd like to put it on agendas for my monthly meetings with our union officers. How else? We're talking about it today. I think, Darrell, you've spoken maybe in a meeting of the associate deans about this. Thoughts? Joe? You got to use the mic or people don't hear.
It also could be discussed at the departmental division meetings, with faculty.
Yeah, very good. Any other thoughts about that or anything we've talked about? Well, this obviously begins a conversation, so we do want to hear everyone's thoughts. Darrell's our leader in facilitating the conversation. So thanks again, Daryl. Last week, we closed on the sale of our 70 and 162-168 Sip Avenue properties to the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency for future use in the city's development of Journal Square as a cultural destination. As you're aware, these development plans include the addition of the future Pompidou Center and Museum and the upcoming renovation of the Lowe's Theater to become a world-class cultural program venue. Our agreement with the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency includes the college's continuing occupancy and use of these facilities for the next 3 years at no cost to the college. I think it's actually $1 a year. So the sale doesn't present any immediate changes for the college. But if you're in these buildings, we don't own them anymore, just FYI. But very importantly, the funding received by the college through this sale will be added to the financial stack for our new tower facility. And that's $16 million, and those funds were wired to the college last week. Our goal is to complete and move into the tower when we vacate these buildings in 3 years or so. So the clock is now ticking on our need to finish plans, finish the financial stack for our tower, build it, and be ready to move into it. I think it's really exciting. It's also just a little bit scary, but I think it's going to happen. Although he's unable to be here today, I thank Vice President Nicholas Chevroletti for his continuing leadership of all aspects of the tower planning. Nicholas has asked me to share with you that he'll be providing a full update on the tower plan revisions, informed by the input of many of you at our next town hall meeting. He'll also have more information at that time about our work to identify future parking and project timing issues, among others. I want to thank our entire community for your help in advancing the plans for this project. And beginning today, very exciting, our Achieving the Dream Leadership and Data Coaches, Dr. Mary Fifield and Dr. Renee Garcia, are visiting Hudson County Community College for the second time this year, and this is our 3rd year in the network. They're meeting with students, faculty, and staff across the college to review student success goals, metrics, progress, and strategies going forward. And their meetings will continue through Friday morning, I think Friday afternoon. And I want to thank all who are going to be participating in these meetings. And as usual, Dr. Fifield and Dr. Garcia will send a written report of their observations and suggestions following this visit, which I'll share with the entire college community. As we finish our 3rd year as a member of the Achieving the Dream Network, we're applying to become an ATD Leader College. This distinction is provided by ATD to colleges that demonstrate student success best practices and distinctive leadership. And under the stellar leadership of HCCC Dream Team co-chairs Dr. Heather DeVries and Dr. Sheila Dinan, the entire Hudson County Community College family continues to be engaged in this work. And as a result of everyone's efforts, we're seeing really impressive continuing progress and positive outcomes in many areas of student retention and completion. So with that, it's now my pleasure to invite HCCC Student Success Dream Team co-chairs, our 2 Dr. Ds, to offer an update on the continuing comprehensive work of the Student Success Dream Team.
Thank you. And I do believe Dr. Fifield and Dr. Garcia were going to call in for at least a little bit today. So we'll turn it over to them at the end to see if they are on the call, and if so, would like to share any remarks. I'll briefly just share kind of an overview of Marion and Renee's agenda while they're with us virtually for the next 4 days. They arrive at 3 p.m. today for a kickoff meeting, where we kind of just go through the agenda, address any kind of pertinent updates or anything time sensitive. And then their other meeting today is with institutional research with John Scanlon and John Regalia to get into the weeds and take a deep dive into the data, look at some visualizations, talk about the Campus Works engagement. Tomorrow, and we've kept their agendas mostly to the afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, it's worked out very nicely that, again, as Sheila and I have said, putting their agendas together is like assembling a puzzle. And there were 3 puzzle pieces in place on the calendar, kind of standing meetings that we could just forward the meeting invite. So they'll be meeting with the Title V Activity 1 work group under the leadership of Jed Palmer. Then they'll be meeting with the pre-nursing implementation team, and then the working group around the ESL proficiency certificate. So a packed afternoon, and they're closing out tomorrow afternoon with a meeting with the Hudson Scholars administrators and academic counselors Again, Hudson Scholars is under the leadership of Dr. Gretchen Schultes and John Argola. So they'll really be spearheading that conversation. On Thursday, they have the opportunity to meet with some Hudson Scholars students. And just a big shout out to Gretchen, John, and the Hudson Scholars academic counselors, Mackenzie Johnson, Nicholas Mangle, Richard Ramora, Alyssa Marion, and Elizabeth Ryan for reaching out to the Hudson Scholars students and really managing that aspect of this. I'm very much looking forward to that meeting and really hearing from the students about their experience in this program. And then they are meeting with, on Thursday afternoon, Marion and Renee are meeting with PAC Day. It's PAC Day standing meeting, another puzzle piece that really just nicely fell into place. But I know it's always a high point for Marion and Renee to meet with that group. And I know, thank you, Jose and Lalisa, for your leadership and hospitality and welcoming them into your meeting. And then we'll close out Thursday meeting with the Achieving the Dream implementation team co-leads to get a progress update and really start to talk about assessment. Again, we are in year 3. We do have another year or so left on our Student Success Action Plan, but starting to take a step back, look at some of those metrics, think about what have we done, how effectively have we done it, and what are our next steps moving forward in the interest of continuous improvement. And then on Friday afternoon, there's a meeting with the full Dream Team, or a meeting to which the full Dream Team is invited to talk about that Leader College application, which ATD will send out this summer. Sheila and I took a preview of last year's application, and if this year's is similar, I think we're in really good shape. I think we have a really strong application to submit based on our institutional commitments to student success, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and so much of the other good work that's just going on college-wide. And then they wrap up, as usual, with a debrief meeting with President Reber and Dr. Jones, and that's their 3rd visit. So it's jam-packed. It will go quickly, a lot of ground to cover, but I think we have a lot of really, really good work to share. And then I'll just share briefly a few updates from a few of the implementation teams based on the Dream Team meeting from a few weeks ago. Our Hudson Helps implementation team, under the leadership of Dr. David Clark and Dr. Arakar Kashian, are looking into partnering with the early college program. High school students need to complete community service hours for a variety of reasons. So again, how we can integrate that in. We've seen the emails about the food pantry partnership with St. Peter's. And then the Culinary Club continues its fantastic work that from July 2020 to the end of spring 2022 to date, the goal, I believe, or tell me if we've achieved or where we are on this, to prepare and donate 10,000 meals to the food pantries, which is really just remarkable work. We're there already? That's fantastic. And then I will share just from Hudson Scholars, again, under the leadership of Dr. Gretchen Schultes and John Argola, that we were seeing even, our Dream Team meeting was April 6th. We were 6 days into registration, and we were already seeing just strong registration numbers. I won't quote old data, but I'm sure those numbers are continuing to go through the roof. And then interestingly, Gretchen and John shared that they had, with the academic counselors, administered a survey about how Hudson Scholars were using the stipend money. They received stipends for taking certain actions, participating in certain events. And the top 2 responses, the first one was books and supplies, and the second one was food and transportation. So some real actionable data there to inform our continued work. And then finally, our pre-nursing group, under the leadership of Lisa Sikowitz, Dr. Lori Bird, and Associate Dean Catherine Sarangelo, are holding information sessions through the end of June. I believe they have 10 scheduled as part of a larger communication strategy to share with students a little in greater depth about the admissions process to the nursing program, alternate career opportunities in healthcare, that it's not just, healthcare is not just nursing, nursing is not just healthcare, that there are a lot of other opportunities, some of which may be better suited to interests. So they're working on those. And then they are also developing FAQs and additional resources, additional communication plans based on student questions at these info sessions. So kind of using these info sessions, assessing the information or the data they gain from them and using that to inform for future communication. And then they're also taking a look at the population of students who do start an application but don't complete it, to dig into see if there are equity gaps there that need to be addressed. At this point, I will turn it over to Marion and Renee if they are on the call and would like to speak. Otherwise, Sheila, the floor is yours. I think Renee had to hop off.
Okay. Okay.
So, Mary, are you with us? Okay, Sheila, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, just to follow up a little bit on what Heather just finished with as far as the nursing piece, they are getting some very good feedback from the students as to what they want and the questions that hadn't been answered. So that data is coming in and it's being assessed right away. So it really is working well. I am just giving you an update on the JED Foundation project. JED Foundation came to us, but they are an integral partner with ATD. So our connections are very close. And as we go through this more so in the next 3 years, you will see so many of the same concepts that ATD has in here. But what I'd like to update you with right now, after this whole year of testing and assessment, we have been given our first draft of the strategic plan created by the JED Foundation, which was based on the Healthy Minds survey that the students took. They also had a student focus meeting in their virtual and in-person meeting in March. They also had a session with the counseling focus groups, and they had I would say 3-hour, 4-hour meeting with the JED team members, and all of our documentation that we have submitted, all of those pieces all were condensed into our first draft. Doreen and I have gone over the first draft fairly well. And what we have seen is that the JED Foundation took each one of these strategic pieces and ranked it like a red, yellow, and green. And from what Doreen and I saw is that Hudson is doing very well. We had more green than we did red and yellow combined. But we don't stop there. The JED team will meet soon to review the report and to assess the draft for the priorities that we have to look at in the red and yellow areas. And these will be the priorities that we will be implementing in the next 2 years. After those 2 years of implementation, we then will have the students take the Healthy Minds survey again to compare and contrast as far as the pre and the post information. The next meeting is coming soon, but I was not trying to put it in this week at all. So it will be after ATD visit. The people in the JED Foundation team, you will be receiving your Zoom invitation. And if anybody else would like to join us, please let Doreen or myself or Lisa know about it. But I think this is another piece that will just increase all of the potential that we have. And thanks to the JED Foundation and the grant that they received, this project is we don't have to pay for it. JED Foundation gave it to us. But Doreen, do you want to add anything to this before I move on? Because you and I have been talking about this for quite a while.
No, what we'll be doing with the mental health department is we will be developing more programming to increase awareness and prevention for suicide and mental health. So more to come on that. We will be also, Deliana will be helping me create a calendar for next year on specific events regarding mental health awareness. And it is based off of the report, but also off of all of the wonderful assets that JED has given us, from, mentorship programs to topic ideas for promotion and prevention. I think it'll be really well-rounded, and we will be ahead of the curve with helping our students feel safe. And we will also, both myself, Deliana, will be QPR trained providers so that we could start teaching our fellow staff and faculty the same thing.
Thank you. And if you have any questions, please let us know, and I will turn the mic back over to President Reber.
Well, how about a round of applause for Heather and Sheila, Doreen? This is really important work. And you know, in terms of the metrics, and John Regalia, I know, is going to be really briefing our coaches, but what I know is, ballpark at least, at this point in our Hudson Scholars program, our Hudson Scholars, those 800 students that started in our Hudson Scholars program last September, are currently have a retention rate that is close to 30% higher than their non-EOF or non-Hudson Scholars peers. It's very closely mirroring the EOF numbers, which have always been fabulous. This is really impressive, and we're seeing these numbers, this impact being sustained, so much so that we have now added we are planning an expansion of this now 2-year trial project to bring in more new students and more staff on our goal toward our journey of trying to scale this to all of our students. This has a major impact at the moment on our fall registration enrollment, which it's very, very early, and I want to emphasize these numbers will not remain at this level, but I think what I saw is at this very moment we're up about 40% in enrollment for fall compared to a year ago at this point. Now, a major part of that is Hudson Scholars who register early, but we're up in new students as well. So we're seeing the success metric move. Also, our 3-year 150% IPEDS graduation rate, which we know doesn't fit us, doesn't fit the community college sector, but it's what IPEDS measures and what we have to report on. I mean, in our case, an ESL student can't even complete in 3 years if they want to, going full-time, and other students in foundations coursework. Nonetheless, our percentage of students completing in 3 years an associate degree has continued to inch up. This won't sound like a lot, but we've seen steady growth from 12% to 13, 14, 15, 16, and now we're projecting 17%. That's what is that? It's been a while. That's about a 40% increase in that retention rate. This is all very significant. So more to come, but I think we're seeing, after 3 years of our focused work and everyone's contributions, we're starting to see measurable and significant positive outcomes for our students. We're so looking forward to celebrating the 10th anniversary of the North Hudson campus next Monday and Wednesday, April 25th and 27th. We look forward to honoring United States Congressman Albio Series with the naming of the North Hudson campus entrance atrium, and to discussions, tours, receptions, activities throughout the celebrations. I'd like to now invite North Hudson Campus Executive Director Joe Coniglia to offer a North Hudson campus update, and also to share his experience with HCCC students at the Model United Nations Conference in New York last week. Joe.
Thank you, everyone. I want to give a shout out to Amala Ogburn, Diana Galvez, Jason Figueroa, Jave Hall, for their help, and all the departments at the North Hudson campus and Jersey City campus who played a part in helping us prepare for this 10th year celebration. It takes a lot of work, as you all know, but everyone working as a team, I'm very excited for next Monday and Wednesday. There will be shuttle service from Jersey City to North Hudson on both days. An email was sent out yesterday from Jen Christopher's office. So I hope to see most of you there, all of you there. If you can make it, please join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, regarding the North Hudson Cafe, a while back, I've been discussing with Ilya, Dr. Jones, Dr. Reber, and others about having a cafe at the North Hudson campus. So it's a process. So next week, there's a meeting, and hopefully, we're going to see the designs that the architects put together. So as we move forward, I'll keep everyone informed. Thank you. Okay. Regarding Dr. Roger Cleveland, Dr. Bandiopadhyay and I, a few months ago, went to the ACCTE conference in New Orleans. And one of the workshops that we attended dealt with the diversity, equity, and inclusion, creating an inclusive learning environment. So Pam and I discussed after the conference about having Dr. Cleveland come to our college. So on April 29th, he will be giving a virtual presentation, one for students from 11 to 1, and then one for faculty, staff, and administrators from 2 to 4. So if you're available, I know it's a busy time during the semester, please join us. What else do I have planned? I keep plugging Pam's name up here, but Pam and I have been accepted to present at the Haiku Conference coming up in October, so we're very happy about that. This past week, I had the pleasure of taking 7 students, some from the North Hudson campus, some from the Jersey City campus, to participate in the New York Model United Nations Conference in Manhattan, New York. It was a wonderful experience, not only for me, but for our students. And I would like to honor these students by calling out their names: Alba Paulino, Montaha Osman, Avelina Gray, Jenny Martinez, Ahilia Muna, Daniel Lopez, and Jeff Aruna. Our students from Jersey City and North Hudson joined 1,500 students, more than half from outside the U.S., in Manhattan, New York, from April 10th to the 15th. Students were able to discuss worldwide issues in a real-world context. HCC's country was Switzerland. Students were placed on various committees and participated in the simulated United Nations conference experience. I'm so proud of our students who did an excellent job when interacting with Ivy League colleges and four-year universities. Each one of you is to be commended for a job well done. So I'm so proud of our students. I want to give an acknowledgement to Dr. Jones, Dr. David Clark, Veronica Durissimo, and a special thanks to Angela Tuzzo, who really worked together with me to make this event possible. So thank you to all for letting us participate in this year's conference. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Joe. Okay, so in the interest of full disclosure, I don't know if you're noticing, when I got on campus this morning, got in the elevator and looked down at my feet, I was mildly mortified to note that I have a different shoe on the left and on the right. Get it out there and I don't have to worry about it.
All right.
Joe, thanks. Yes.
I did that about 3 weeks ago. I looked down at my feet and I had 2 different shoes on and no one said anything to me. And when I went home, my husband said, "Dor, you're wearing 2 different shoes." I said, "My feet have been killing me all day long."
I did it once before with a wingtip and a penny loafer, but I kept my mouth shut probably. I do want to say, Joe, thank you so much for your leadership of the North Hudson campus and your mentorship of our students and community members. Beginning April 29th, the American Association of Community Colleges, one of the 2 major associations in the community college national sector, will hold its annual conference on ground for the first time since the start of the pandemic, and as hopefully a lot of you know, it will be held just across the river in Manhattan. And the agenda is chock full of workshops and activities. A number of HCCC colleagues will attend. If you're interested and haven't yet made the decision, I encourage you to consider attending. We'd like to have a strong contingent of our community members there for 2 reasons. One, just for, point of pride, given all that we are celebrating and doing, but also it's a phenomenal conference with so many powerful sessions. And since it's nearby, we can do it more affordably. I also would remind all of us that HCCC is one of 5 finalists for this year's AACC Advancing Diversity Award of Excellence, which will be announced at the concluding Awards of Excellence Gala. at the AACC conference beginning at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, May 2nd. And I hope we'll again have a strong HCCC contingent to celebrate our college's DEI recognition at the gala. And very exciting, I hope many of you will join us today in just about an hour at 2 p.m. immediately following this town hall meeting for a virtual speaker event featuring Dr. William B. Harvey. As I mentioned last week in an email to the college community, Dr. Harvey spoke last fall at the annual ACCT Leadership Congress in San Diego, where a team of our students, faculty, and staff were in attendance, and trustees, I should say, to receive the ACCT Equity Award for the Northeastern United States. Dr. Harvey's talk brought attendees to tears and to their feet. I know I'm really just reading what I wrote to you. But his comments were riveting. His comments about growing up in the South in the 1960s as an African American and about our nation's pathway forward to continuing the work of promoting inclusion and social justice. So please join us for Dr. Harvey's talk if you're able. It's 1 hour virtual. We thank Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Eurus Pujols, for coordinating this exceptional event. And thank you, Eurus. And with that, I'd now like to invite Eurus, Lisa Williams, and Jose Lowe to update us on the work of PAC Day and the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Thank you, Chris. Unfortunately, I didn't get the memo about the shoes not matching. I'll try to do better next time. But I've done that a whole bunch of times, but on the account that most of my shoes are the same color, you guys barely notice. Again, Chris, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today. First, I will speak about some of the partnerships and collaborations that we're leading out of the office, and then Jose and Elisa will speak about some of the work that we're doing through PAC Day and the sub-goals specifically. First, I want to recognize other individuals within the community that, they're continuing to do the work, carrying the torch of DEI and making all of us look proud, and be eligible for all of these awards and recognitions. And, the same vein, I want to also congratulate the first cohort for the successful completion of the Diversity and Inclusion Certificate at Cornell University. So, very briefly, I just want to, a point of pride, recognize Dr. Christopher Conson, Natalia Vasquez-Barkin, Jeff Robertson Jr., Laurice Dukes, Dr. Paula Robertson, Anita Bell, Dr. Nicholas Chavrolati, Rafi Menjikian, Amala Agburn, Vanessa Soto, Mirta Sanchez, Lisa Bogart, Connie Silitini Cafaro, Ashuma Jain, Kirsten Gordon, and Alexa Riano. I just want to say congratulations on that. Cohort number 2 is ongoing, should be finished by the end of the semester, and the summer cohort is slated to start on June 1. We're not officially taking any more applications at the moment. We're waiting for eCornell to organize the next sessions, but you're going to be getting more information about those, right? We have, some of you have expressed interest for fall and spring, and there'll be plenty of opportunities. Just be on the lookout for more information. Our Title IX training is also ongoing. Just yesterday, we had a full day training for Title IX coordinator. I know that, Joe Coniglia and others were there for that training, and this training is going on almost in a weekly basis. Towards May, we're going to have additional community training that is going to be open to all members of the community, faculty, staff, and students, and that training will be more focused on case studies. Like how is that relatable? How is that really applies to the work that I do, the role that I serve at Hudson, and all of that. The Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Student Passport Program is also ongoing. As you know, the purpose of this program is to build up student equity leaders to serve on our committees and to be out there making a difference, to make sure that DEI continues to get embedded into everything we do. And very briefly, I just want to, you probably saw the flyer, but we're going to have our Holocaust and Armenian Genocide annual commemoration on Thursday, April 28th. I want to recognize Associate Dean Ira Karakashian for working on that, bringing in the speakers together, as well as Elana Winslow. But, if we could just recognize Ira, and I don't think Anna's here. Thank you. Very briefly, the Sisterhood of La Hermandad is another program empowering women within higher education through storytelling. They have 3 meetings already. The following meeting for the semester is taking place Thursday, May 5th. And again, this, I want to recognize Diana Galvez and Deliana Acosta for working on this and putting it together. So if you're female identifying members of the community, you know, this is an opportunity that is open to you. Like about a month ago, we had a visit. Some of us had an opportunity to be members of the Jersey City Theater Center. We were able to make some relationships, some friendships there. And one of the outcomes of that is that we're going to be, we're looking at May 4th for showing a film, screening a film here at the college. And that will give us an opportunity to clearly, you know, demonstrate the art. The filmmaker is Ukrainian. There'll be an opportunity to speak to the filmmaker, the story, and you know that also will bring awareness, the opportunity for awareness of the situation that is happening in that side of the world. As you know, this is also the holy month of Ramadan, April 2nd to May 2nd. Many of our peers or colleagues or students, you know, they're fasting and praying. So we just ask for you to be mindful of that. If you're putting together an event, if there's food, have food to go, and you know, be mindful, particularly in the afternoons. In the afternoons, you know, sometimes want to make sure that we're supportive as possible. When we were looking at this, I took a trip to the library. I went to the 2nd floor. There's a beautiful room there for prayer and meditation. It's you know, it's wonderful. So I just want to make sure that all of us know that it's available there, that we get to promote it to other students. And, you know, I just want to add to what Chris mentioned earlier today. You received an email about the Dr. William Harvey lecture later today. You also received a calendar invite. So if you click on any of the 2, you will find the link to be there. And all that I want to add is that Dr. Harvey is the first African-American to be appointed as president of a university in Europe. He's also the inaugural founding president of the National Association of Diversity Officers in Higher Education. He's a scholar, a researcher, someone who's very bright. And, you know, as Chris said, it was really powerful. So again, I just want to encourage you to participate. I have nothing else to add, but I'm happy to pass it on to my partners, Lilisa and Jose, so they could give us a little bit more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reber, and thank you to our Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So welcome to our newest employee member and others. If you are listening via WebEx as well or streaming, you are new. Welcome to Hudson County Community College. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about Goal 1 and Goal 2. Those are the two of the 4 subcommittees that make up PAC Day. So PAC Day as a whole, we meet each and every month. We'll be meeting on Thursday, but the subcommittees, they also have their own meetings, and they also meet sometimes once or twice a month. And what they do is they live out and they try to implement the strategies and the objectives that are part of the PAC Day and DEI action plan. So I want to just mention a couple of broad programs that they're working on. So goal number 1, which is headed up by Veronica Gerasimo and Michelle Vitale. One of the things they're working on is this food diversity project. And so what they want to make sure is that everybody who is on our campus for whatever reason, especially our employees and our students, when we're at events or when they just want to eat, that there's something there for them no matter what the diversity of the types of foods that they eat. So they're working on that project. We'll have more to share with you over time about what all they're doing, but the president is aware of this and the college is aware. I wasn't at the initial meeting, but I know they did send out an email. It's very detailed, as you know, those 2 individuals, Veronica Gerasimo and Michelle Vitale, and that team, it's a whole team of them. You can imagine how thorough they are with this. So they did a survey. They asked people what they wanted to eat, what reasons they need to eat these various types of food. And so I think that is a very promising program because it speaks to our diversity and our inclusivity. Also, another thing that Goal 1 is working on is a retreat. That is also a part of the action plan that the PAC Day members, come together and really, build that strong relationship as we continue to work so closely together. For goal number 2, they work mostly on areas that also overlap into human resources. So for the most part, what they do is they support all the work of HR as it relates to hiring, promotions, and making sure that our hiring practices are inclusive and that we can really see that diversity is taking place as we recruit new people into the college. And one of the things I wanted to speak on that they are working on and update you on is this notion of, well, 2 things actually. One is the exit interviews, because that's very important. It can really inform us into what we want to do and continue to do better and help with our mission of continuous improvement. But the other thing is this notion of having a new hire orientation. And so I'm happy to say that under the leadership of Carmen McGuire and others in our HR team and under the supervision of Anna Krapitsky, our VP of Human Resources, we had the first on-ground new hire orientation on April the 6th. I was away, I was out of town, I wasn't able to be there, but I saw the pictures, I heard it was phenomenal. So I'm so proud that we are working on this, and I'm glad for everybody that helped out with it. And for all the new hires, look for us to do more things as we continue to improve our practices, all according to the action plan. So now I will pass it on to my co-chairperson, Jose Love.
Hudson County Community College, one of the more prominent places to work. I'm happy to say that, working here for the past 13 years and just listening to the award that we were given, it just brings me so much, pride. And it's incredible, and as we continue on this past 2 years in our program, in our PAC Day program, and listening to all these accolades that we're getting from around the nation, I think this is something to continue to talk about and to address and to express to each other, because people are talking about us and people are listening, and you hopefully are paying attention to that. So I'm very proud, once again, of the accomplishments of our program and our college, and it's not stopping. Like I told you that before last month, it's not stopping. We're going to continue on, and I'm looking forward to see what the future brings to us. Group 3 right now, I don't know if you've seen the flyer on your safe here. I think this is great. For folks who want to know more about the care and consent form, you click on the flyer and you'll be able to see the care and consent form. So Group 3 is working on that. Right now, Ms. Teja Perek and Rafi Majikian are co-chairing that particular group. Group 4, at the moment, the members of Group 4 created the first draft of the DEI survey for faculty members. The survey aims to get a sense of how faculty understand the meaning of DEI in their teaching and the greatest needs, and the extent to which faculty understand the resources available to them. Tony Acevedo is personally working with John Scanlon to iron out the surveys so it can be administered soon. So hopefully you'll see that survey in your email or any other type of communication. Hopefully you pay attention to that. So once again, thank you. And Dr. Reber, thanks a lot. And Dr. Jones.
Thank you so much, yours, Lisa, and Jose. We're enormously grateful for your strong leadership. We continue to make progress in serving and educating inmates in the Hudson Correctional Facility and reentry citizens through the Governor's Reentry Training and Employment Center in Kearney. We thank Lori Margolin, Dr. Heather DeVries, and their colleagues for leading this work. Lori and Heather, would you like to offer an update? Lori. And Heather.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So for the Academic and Workforce Pathway Program for incarcerated students, we have a total of 15 students in the program right now, 9 workforce, 6 degree students. The number of students do vary based on a number of factors out of our control and out of the students' control, and we are very proud that very rarely has a student who's entered the program voluntarily decides to leave it. So classes are underway for the spring. And they are going well with our classes as well as with Women Rising. We are working with the Hudson County Department of Housing and Community Reintegration on the Year 2 program and anticipate that it'll be included in the April 28th Commissioners meeting. I also want to give a shout out to our new Student Success Coordinator, Fabiola Ocean. I don't know if she's listening today. Who began last month. She's being mentored by Maritza Reyes, who launched the program last year. Fabiola has been doing a tremendous work with our partners and our students, so thank you for that. And I want to thank all our colleagues again for their continued support of the program, including Sheila, David Clark, Nakia, Matt, Kevin Ang, Allison Wakefield, faculty who are teaching the courses, and many, many, many others, so thank you for that. In terms of the New Jersey Reentry Corporation, students who have previous justice involvement, plans are continuing for the welding course that we're going to be offering at their facility. We're actively recruiting for a welding instructor and anticipate finding one hopefully by the end of the week. The course is a 9-credit version of the recently approved welding class on the credit side in the STEM division, and this aligns with our goal of building pathways, and in this case, a pathway to an advanced manufacturing degree. NJRC is investing in this welding lab at their training center and has received interest not only from clients but employers who are looking to hire the graduates of the program. Ongoing discussions with the Hudson County Jersey City Workforce Development Board about supporting the tuition for these students for these programs. And they've asked us to expand our offerings to a computer basics class. So we're looking to get that going actually relatively soon. We're looking to start maybe early May. So we're actively recruiting for instructors, and we always need instructors. So I'm going to give a little plug, a little commercial here. Anybody who is interested in teaching this class in person during the day, we have opportunities here as well as in other programs. And I want to give a shout out to our new Student Success Coordinator, Marion Bettencourt, who began last month. And she's being mentored by Al Williams, who is our Advanced Manufacturing Student Success Coordinator. Marion has been doing a fabulous job with our students and coordinating the program. So thank you. Thank you to her, and I'll turn it over to Heather.
Thank you, Lori. I too would like to extend my gratitude to Marion for all the really wonderful work she's doing spearheading our partnership with NJRC, and in particular her work with our 5 students who are on campus twice a week, currently pursuing the Hot Food Proficiency Certificate. They're in one course right now, but I believe their summer schedule was just finalized the other day. Very exciting. It does seem they're on track to finish the Hot Food Proficiency Certificate by the end of summer 2, which is really fantastic. And thank you to Chef Robert Bennett, who's their instructor this semester, and to Dr. Kay for his leadership and his partnership in getting this up and running. The students continue to have a really positive experience from what I hear. I look forward to checking in on them later maybe this week or next week. So more good news to come there, hopefully. And thank you again to Marion for her leadership. Otherwise, 2, other updates from our partnership with NJRC. Last week on Thursday, President Reber, Lori, myself, and Marion attended the NJRC's annual reentry conference at St. Peter's. This year, the title was Trauma, A Hero's Journey, and really focused on the experience of veterans as they work to reintegrate into civilian life and many of the barriers they encounter in doing so. And a really, really wonderful day of programming and really addressing this one topic from a different perspectives. It reminded me very much of our commitment to taking a holistic perspective, that this conference really was offered in a similar vein, with having doctors speak on it, having a representative from the Yale Legal Clinic speak about it, and so many veterans there giving their own very powerful personal testimonials. the breadth and depth of the discussion was really remarkable and very moving. And again, just so in line with the approaches we're taking with our institutional priorities of student success and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And really the whole day was about kind of removing barriers and how do we make this transition to civilian life easier and more seamless for these individuals. In particular with accessing benefits. There was a lot of really very interesting information and compelling statistics and compelling personal testimonials about the barriers veterans face in accessing benefits. So we look forward to kind of continuing to unpack that and think how it partners with our initiatives at the college and our work with NJRC. And then one last, I guess, announcement or plug that there is a workshop today at 3:30 on WebEx titled Working with Reentry and Incarcerated Students, open to everyone college-wide. Thank you to Lalisa Williams and the Office of Faculty and Staff Development, again, for your partnership and leadership on this. Again, open to the whole college community. There will be some about a presentation, but also plenty of time for kind of Q&A and unpacking the opportunities and sometimes challenges in working with these populations. So we're looking forward to hosting that this afternoon and hope to see many of you there. Thank you. President Reber.
How about a round of applause thanking Heather and Lori? This is transformational work that's underway. And I have to just share, yesterday, I was passing by the Gabriel Library, and there was a group of 3 or 4 students speaking. They reached out to me and wanted to talk about their experiences here. One of them was an incarcerated student, I think in our first cohort at the correctional facility, who's now been released and is continuing his coursework here. He's not in the hot food group. He's continuing his coursework. I want to tell you, it warmed my heart because he shared that this opportunity has changed his life. I'm getting goosebumps. It's turned his life around, and how grateful he is for this opportunity and how welcomed he has felt here. So, this is why we do this work. It was really wonderful. And speaking of wonderful, we're all looking forward to commencement, which is fast approaching, very fast. As you're aware, our commencement this year will be held at Red Bull Arena in Harrison on Thursday, May 26th, beginning at noon. A reminder that we all received a memo from Dr. Darrell Jones on April 7th that contains important ceremony details. And on April 12th, all of us should have received a survey asking that we RSVP our planned attendance and participation in commencement. Please respond to the survey as soon as possible if you haven't already. We really need to know who's going to be there. This is something different than anything we've ever done before. It's really, the scale is huge, but it's going to be great. The deadline to order Regalia is coming up quickly. It's April 22nd. That's the deadline for ordering Regalia, as well as the deadline for completing the survey. So please complete that. A lot of you have. It looks like we're going to have a spectacular attendance. We're also getting RSVPs of graduates, and Veronica Gerasimo tells me of the 250 or 300 so far that have said they're commencing, which I think is just a small subset of what we're going to have. They're bringing an average of 7 to 8 family members each, which is why, we wanted to be there. There's plenty of seating for everyone. So we're going to have a large attendance at this magnificent facility. We thank all who are involved in planning what promises to be this spectacular celebration of this year's graduates and others who graduated since the beginning of the pandemic. And a number of those are saying they're coming to commence. We'll also, really exciting, we'll also be celebrating 48 Hudson County high school students who are graduating high school next month with an Hccc associate degree, and they will be commencing. And Chris Conzen and team, we thank you so much for your leadership as this number of students that finish high school with 2 years of college completed here keeps growing every year. Okay, that's a lot. I appreciate your patience, tolerance. We now open the meeting to questions, comments, topics of celebration, concerns. For those here in the Culinary Conference Center at the North Hudson campus and those using WebEx, please raise your hand if you'd like to speak. Questions, comments? Joseph.
So at the North Hudson campus, a few months ago, Michelle Vitale, Dr. Jones, yours, and myself were conversating about having an art gallery placed at the North Hudson campus. So I want to give a shout out to Michelle Vitale. She's a very dedicated, energetic colleague who is really passionate about what she does. So when her and I spoke and we moved forward with the art gallery. So when you come to the North Hudson campus, please visit the 3rd floor. The first exhibit is going to honor or display and showcase professors at Hudson County Community College who are artists. So I'd like to give a shout out and a deep congratulations to the artists who are displaying their work. It means so much to us at the North Hudson campus, and it made me realize how many talented faculty we have working at Hudson. So Jeremiah Typin, Michael Lee, Enyoung Choi, Eric Lee, Kathy Ladowski, and Fran Dye. Thank you so much for agreeing to display your artwork at the North Hudson.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Joe. Others? Doreen?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Reber. First, I would like to let everyone know that within the next 2 weeks, our NYU, Fordham, and Rutgers interns will be transitioning out to either graduation themselves or onto their next field placement. I want to thank them for all their hard work. They've done a great job of engaging students and developing great programming. I would like to also give a shout out to both Carl and Leora, who just passed their LSW licensing board, which is really awesome. So, I would also like to give a special thank you to Deliana. She has done such great work over in the North Hudson campus. She came in ready to work, and I've seen such great programming and engagement from her. It's amazing to have the support to finally feel like I'm not divided between campuses. I just want to acknowledge all of our hard work. I'm really proud of everything that she's doing.
Fantastic. Congrats to everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Doreen. Other comments, questions, concerns?
Royal has her hand raised.
Royal?
Yes, Dr. Reba, I want to tear up literally in terms of the great work that Hudson County Community College at all of our campuses, and with such great leadership such as yourselves. And I don't know not to stop talking, Jose Love, about what Hudson is doing. You know, we're doing such great work, and it's astonishing and amazing to see this in real time, especially me being an alum. And I can't speak to every alum here, but it's just so fascinating. It's as you reference in terms of the speaker that we will hear in the next few moments, in terms of the riveting information, right? And so information has been poured out here in terms of Hudson County Community College, not only information, but inspiration, right? In terms of all of us as a community here. But I want to, in the same vein as it relates to what Dr. Joe Coniglia and Michelle Vitale, he forefronted and mentioned of the theater artwork that the faculty and what they have accomplished and what they're doing, hidden talents, hidden treasures, right? But also in terms of what the Hudson County Community College Life Paint and Sip had happened. I want to shout that out. I want to shout out Omar Williams and the whole team that rallied around in terms of, even if those that did not attend, but you rallied as it relates to completing the survey as you wanted to be there permanently. But Omar Williams, it was such a delight to be there. It was very therapeutic. Ultimately, it was fun as well, Dr. Reber. Certainly, hopefully you can make the next one. I know you're busy as well as others, but it was such a great honor to be there and to speak with the colleagues that I normally wouldn't see, right? And so I just wanted to shout that out in terms of new business as it relates to that vein, in terms of theater, art, hidden treasures, hidden talents. Certainly Omar and the rest of that team that was there have hidden talents, because me, by far, I'm not a Picasso. But it was wonderful. So thank you so much for all, enabling us these opportunities to showcase, what Hudson is really about. Hudson is home.
Oh, thank you, Royal. I was sorry I couldn't make that paint and sip, but I did go to one a few years ago. I've shared this before. The more I sipped, and the more colorful my painting got. But I think those are really wonderful events. And I just want to do a shout out to Royal. She spoke last week at our meeting of the African American Outreach Committee, and she shared her story that I got to tell you was so inspirational, so inspirational and so well received. So thank you, Royal, for everything you do. And others.
Karen has her hand raised.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Reber. Thank you for allowing me this. I'm just going to announce a few events we have coming up. Tomorrow, we have our pop-up fitness exercise program in the makerspace from 10:45 to 11:45. Please stop by, students, faculty, staff. We've had a great turnout with that. And on Friday, from 3 to 3:30, we have our Fitness Fridays. We're partnering with Mental Health and Wellness. This is virtual, and it's for all faculty, staff. And so please come to that. Royal has been coming every week. We've had a great turnout with that as well. This week is fun. We're working on balance and stabilization. So
great.
Please come with us and get moving and get healthy. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you, Karen. Others.
Michelle has her hand raised.
Michelle. Are you muted, Michelle?
I'm sorry. I should know that by now. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to thank Joe Coniglia for his just continued support. He's very humble when he was describing the whole experience, and none of it would have happened without him. And also, he's correct in saying that we have an amazing art program here. I always say this: the faculty is stellar. They exhibit. We had a Guggenheim recipient, and these are things that echo many of the things that we celebrate. We celebrate people going to conferences. We celebrate awards people are given, and in the arts, these are exhibiting at places like the NARS Foundation, the Jeremiah Typin exhibited at. I mean, that's unbelievable. That happens to 10 artists in a lifetime, and we have somebody here teaching who is a NARS Foundation fellow. And so I just wanted to say that, we can't share these things if we don't have the support, and it just was really nice for Joe to extend the offer and be so giving and so welcoming. And I really, really appreciate it because it celebrates the talents of our creative faculty.
Thank you, Michelle. And you are certainly among those colleagues that have had your work exhibited in many places, and we're very proud of everything that you do for this college. Others? You bet. Lisa, it looks like you've got something. Is that right? Huh.
Thank you for this opportunity, Dr. Reber. I just wanted to mention a couple of events that we have coming out of the Human Resources Department in case there's no one else that would mention that. But on Thursday, there's going to be the STAR program. So I wanted to say, congratulations to all the full-time and part-time employees here at Hudson, those that have been here, reached those milestones, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, all of the retirees. That's going to be a very awesome event. I have on my 5-year pin was one of the most proudest days for me here at Hudson County Community College. I made sure on year 1 that I stayed around because I wanted that pin so bad. Now I'm just 2 years away from 10, and I'm going to make sure I stay here, and I want to get that. It's a wonderful event. And that's happening on Thursday, so congratulations. And also this month, we will have the Take Our Sons and Daughters to Work Day as well. So look out for the flyer for that and make sure you're able to come for that. And also there is it used to be called Secretarial Day decades ago, but now I think it's changed to Professionals Day. So look for that for those who you have support staff and professionals in your office. Please, allow them to come to that event to celebrate them and their work and their many, many, many contributions. And just one last announcement, on the 20th, Anna Krapitsky will be doing a workshop on how to navigate difficult conversations with your employees. So please make sure you see that on your calendar and please register. It's a very important workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Lalisa, very much. Any other comments, questions?
We have a raised hand. Jacqueline?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hi,